Diesel. Boy, he's tired. What's up, buddy? Star date.
Hi, baby boy.
4 February 2022. This is going to be a quick update on the... I'm going to burn my house down and you guys are going to find our bodies back here charred up. Quick video. So my little 3,000 watt inverter. I'm going to go ahead and do a review on that later. I actually really like it. It's got a lot of options. Clicks through everything. I'll do a quick update since this is a electrical update video. These batteries. I had a bunch of old ones, as you can see. I tried to make them work. They did not work. They just kept draining and draining. And I eventually found one of the batteries. Surprisingly, it was not the 2013 battery. I believe it was the 2020 battery. That would not hold a charge. So I replaced that with one of my other batteries. And although we made it through the night without running a generator, it really was struggling. So I ended up and said, F it, I'm going to go out and see if it's the battery. So let's eliminate that, troubleshoot it from the equation. So we ran up there and got... Okay, I'll put some light on there. But EverStart Max Marine and RV, the most important part about this was it was 114 amp hours. Not the best, not the worst for the money, for the easy access. We decided to go ahead and eat the cost of 4 of these, see if that could get us through the day and through the night. Currently, our solar panels are 455 watts a piece, roughly 41, 42 volts, somewhere around there. The inverter can handle 150 volts input. So we have 3 solar panels in series hooked up, which will roughly give us 40, 80, 120, 120 volts, somewhere around there. I think it gets up to 130 in here, so they might be a little more than 40. And then 2 sets of the 3 solar panels in series connected in parallel, which we have a total of 6 solar panels, 455 watts each, leaning up against our tent. So far so good. When the sun is out, the battery bank will stay charged all night. Things that we constantly have running is our magic heat for our stove, the box fan behind the stove, more or less. Sometimes we turn it off. We have our Costco LED lights. By the way, I'll try to post an update on those. The remote control looks like a NASA spaceship controller. That is the remote control for an LED light. Oh, there's the brand right there. I believe we got them at Costco's. Once you do figure this remote out and all of the options, those lights work extremely well. I've had a military light that came with this big huge tent, 20 by 30 tent. They failed outside in the rain. I had a Harbor Freight 5,000 lumen light bar. I think I have one sitting around in here still. It failed outside in the rain. I have one of these connected to the front of my entrance out there. It gets rained on, snowed on, iced on. Still works perfectly. When you walk in, walk out, comes on like it should. Dims for a little bit, goes off. Excellent lights. Costco's, give you a shout out, and that brand, whatever it was. Coda. Back to the power. So I have 4 12-volt batteries in series, giving me 48 volts. That's what my inverter is set up for. I used to have one of these batteries. There's my 24-volt jumper box. Came in so handy. And a battery was always sitting over here to power my on-demand RV, boat, 12-volt, whatever, pump. Which, by the way, is an excellent pump. This 275-gallon tote, which we're using for our water, Takes forever with the water transfer pump that I bought at Ace Hardware. Anyway, that pump, way better, way faster, and as you can see, turn it on, pressure starts to die, and it kicks on, kicks the pressure back up, and when you turn the water off, and it builds pressure, the pump goes off. Works perfectly. Now, since this is an electrical video, I was tired of keeping these batteries charged. No, it never died. No, it never had problems, but every now and again I'd take the battery off and charge it. So I decided to run a cable. They're still clamped onto the end of it. Low voltage, 12 volts. And the cable goes up and around, over, and over there to the batteries. Let's just walk over there and do it. Sorry for the mess. My wife does not want me to do this video right now because of the mess. So I came in to the battery bank and connected to one of the batteries here, 12 volts. Give me 12 volt output. So everything is working as it should. I would no longer have to charge that battery because the solar or the inverter charge controller is charging all the batteries. Now, with what I have not done yet, which is why I'm making this video, I used to have a cord that was hooked up to the top of this water heater, and it went outside to a generator. Generator is not the best Harbor Freight special. It did get the job done, so I'm not complaining. However, I have a 20 kilowatt diesel generator, military, sitting on a trailer. Has a 130,000 BTU heating and cooling unit on it. And instead of running, the generator wasn't doing the best at charging. It was. So let me rephrase this. As the Harbor Freight generator was running, you could watch the hertz jump around on the inverter. And although it's supposed to be 60 hertz and 120 volts input, it was going down to about 51. Really, after reading the manual, it says you want bare minimal 150 times the generating power that your inverter is. So it says bare minimal, this is a 3,000 watt inverter, I would need 4,500 watts. And that one's a Harbor Freight. It says 6,500, that's peak. And it says 5,500 watts continuous, but it struggles when this thing's kicking up the amperage to charge the batteries. So I ended up hooking it up yesterday to the big generator out there. And this is where people are going to be like, oh my gosh, where is this contraption at? So, this, ladies and gentlemen, if you find me dead in my bed electrocuted, I have a 3-phase wire coming in. One of the phases are being now used to go in here, down and around, and go to my AC inputs. Man, dude, kick those lights up. Hit the up button. Watch how bright these get. Boom. Now it's like the sun in here. Okay. So there's my AC input. The yellow household 10-2, I believe, wiring, because that's what I have. And so one of the phases I have going to power that. I tested it out yesterday. Will hold the battery charge at 30 amps. No fluctuation in the hertz, right at 59.9 hertz. It does actually say 117 volts down here. When I go to like the AC input, it'll say 117 on the input here. But the generator out there has fine-tuned adjustment knobs on the hertz and the voltage. I'm pointing out there like you guys can see it for some reason. Look through the walls. That's ridiculous of me. So I don't really know. One of them is obviously incorrect because that's a digital gauge. You can turn it, fine-tune it exactly. That one says 120. This one says 117. But the hertz are perfect. So I know that worked. I want to give a shout out to Randy Crane. I'm going to do a shout out video to everybody that has helped here soon. But as I was originally hooking this hot water heater up, he goes, oh, just put 2 hot legs onto it and it doesn't need the neutral. So the Harbor Freight generator I was doing, I removed that cord today, ran 2 more lines. So as the 3-phase comes in, 1 phase is going to charge the battery slash give AC to the inverter. And 2 other legs are coming over here because this is a 208, 240 dual hot water heater. So depending on if you're at 208 volts or 240 volts, blah, blah, blah. And just to give a shout out to A.O. Smith Signature, I don't know if it is their brand, but 15 minutes on a generator, and this thing would keep your hand, you could wash your hands with warm water in the evening and turn this on in the morning to get a shower. So it kept the water definitely warm inside here for quite some time. So I have not turned the big generator on yet. I just now got done wiring this up. Run the wires. I haven't taped them like I have here, just real quick to get the wires all set up and pretty. But I think finally I will no longer need the smaller generator out there. I don't really think I need the large generator at all, but we've had 3 days of rain and ice storms. 2, I guess. Today's day 3. And so the solar panels are not keeping the batteries charged for all night. You can turn the generator on for an hour, it charges the batteries back up, and then we can shut it all off and go all night. But I said, well, we might as well just run it into the hot water heater instead of starting that gas generator that fluctuates. We got the Big Mac Daddy diesel. It holds the power steady, the hertz and the volts. It'll be better for the inverter. And that is what is happening here. I did a drone video. I haven't posted it yet of sort of the site and how it's coming about and what we're doing to the road. But why did I mention that? Oh, so you can take a look at sort of the panels. We're going to get out there and build something to a little carport style thing to hold the solar panels up. But right now they're just leaning up against the outside of this tent. So anyway, Randy Crane, I've called you many times over the years to get advice on electrical stuff. I appreciate it, brother. And I think we're out. I will post an update and say everything's working. Or I will post a big brown, black charge spot over there on my tent and say shit didn't work as it was supposed to. Ain't that right, baby? She's so happy Bengals going to the Super Bowl.
Me?
Actually, she had an old coworker that is all crazy about football. Me and her are not really big sports fanatics, but she was calling him to bust his balls a little bit. So we heard the Bengals are going. And this is what our dogs do all day long when it's raining and nasty out. He always looks like he's long jumping. He actually has to get up and move around because Leslie constantly covers him with blankets. And he's like, I'm so hot. And he'll get up and leave.
No.
And let's see, Caramel and Mocha, they're our sisters. And they're old lady style. If it ain't nice and warm out, they ain't doing anything. Now, Bones here, on the other hand, she is an independent woman. She will run around, go anywhere, do anything. She does not need one of the other pack animals to run with her. She will go and disappear and do her own thing, and an hour or 2 later, she'll back up with cuts and scratches all over, and she's having fun. Ain't that right, Bones? Ain't that right, Bones? Okay. Anyway, that's it. We're getting off here. I'm going to go start it and wish me luck. Bye.